Like with most human beings, there had been painful episodes in my life and I'd left the emotions around them to fester. If I had known I had ADHD, would I have waded through all these and sorted them out sooner? Who knows? I cannot say. I do know that the lower your self-esteem, the less likely you are to confront your anxiety, to be able to imagine it as something separate from you, something that you can manage or even banish. The science around this isn't definite, but it could be that trauma can exacerbate ADHD symptoms, which is why the notion that medication as the first port of call is problematic. Even if I had been given ADHD medication much earlier in my life, the pills themselves would not have helped me to process the catastrophic aftermath of the 1979 Iranian Revolution, which catapulted my family and me into exile, although it may have helped me pack more efficiently. If I had been diagnosed at 15 and given pills to deal with what I was experiencing, would that really have helped me in the long run? Or would it, back in 1988, have made me feel that I was mad and caused me to reject help because of that stigma? Medication, in my case an amphetamine, is nothing without the scaffolding of support from humans and nature. Therapy, meditation, fresh air, the feel of grass under your feet quieten down your motor and are key to managing ADHD, at least in my experience. The first thing that happened when I started to realise I had ADHD in my 40s and began to see a therapist was that my anxiety subsided. Until that happened, I didn't even know it was there. Identifying this feeling I'd always lived with and crucially learning that I could actually do something about it was like discovering a fake wall in your house and finding out that you could move it, revealing a beautiful new house that was much nicer, brighter and tidier than the one that you had been living in. I hadn't known that the raging feelings of paranoia and anxiety could be removed. No wonder I drank. No wonder I used booze and food and sex to give myself temporary respite from the debilitating anxiety in my head and in my gut. You have to learn what anxiety is before you realise you have it. Otherwise you don't know you have it. After all, a dog doesn't know it's a dog. I wish this was a quote from Confucius, but no, I heard it on the Chris Evans radio show. I wrote this chapter on the 3rd of January 2023. I had a karaoke party on New Year's Eve and I did not drink. A combination of ADHD medication and the perimenopause mean my tolerance towards alcohol have significantly lowered. Just one glass of wine feels like I've had 10 coffees and robs me of sleep, so hangovers are off the scale horrific. On New Year's Eve, I knew I didn't want to feel wretched the next day. ADHD management helps me to consider consequences and act accordingly. This might sound so normal to some people as though I'm saying, I learned that if I stick my hand into a fire, it will hurt, so I no longer do that. But if you have ADHD, you'll understand that it's something to know what's best for you and something quite different to be able to act on it. I was actually able to think, do I want New Year's Day to be a hellish write-off? No, so I shall not drink. So at the little party I had on New Year's Eve, while my friends drank, I had alcohol-free lager. At midnight, instead of the pink champagne, I mixed Ribena with fizzy water, then sang I Will Survive on karaoke. I had fun, yes. But my friends undoubtedly had more fun. I soberly watched them beautifully murder classics. I watched them howl with laughter and misbehave. I was reminded that I'm not naturally gregarious. I'm quite quiet. But I knew I would not wake up with a head full of self-hate. My children would not watch me drag myself through the next day. I would not have to talk my anxiety down to a manageable size. I watched my friend sing Chaz and Dave's Ain't No Pleasing You as though he was on stage at Madison Square Garden, and I thought, how wonderful you are having so much fun. And then, would it be rude if I left my guests to it and went to bed?